Batman the Audio Adventures, radio drama, and Batman. I should be the perfect audience for this. And yet, I'm kind of disappointed. I grew up on Batman the Animated Series. That was my introduction to Batman. I was 10 years old when that show first aired, so I was like the perfect demographic, the perfect moldable little human. And because of that show, I gained a lot of interest in a variety of different elements. I mean, one, Batman, obviously, but it was all the elements that were the inspiration for this show that I also dug into. 1940s aesthetic and Art Deco and film noir and that filmmaking style. And it caused me to go find actual film noir films from the 40s and 50s and study them and learn them and watch them and love them. Through the course of looking into elements of the 1940s and 50s, I discovered radio plays and radio dramas. So I say all of that to say that when I found out that they were going to be doing a Batman audio drama, I was immediately excited. I could not wait. And the information that was coming out about it, Jeffrey Wright playing Batman, and I got really excited.
Blue Ribbon Content presents Batman, the Audio Adventures.
Maybe a little too excited.
We're rolling, Mickey? All right. No, I'm good. Let's just get this in the can.
Because when it finally came out, I really wanted to like it, and I pushed through. And the reason I haven't done this video yet is because I kept going back to the show. I would listen to an episode or two, and then I'd kind of step away from it for a while. A couple months would go by. I'd be like, I need to listen to that again. And it occurred to me, oh, I don't like this show.
Batman, not a fan, man.
And so then, just over the last couple of months, I started really going, why don't I like I should love this. Why don't I like this show? I figured it out. And so I'm going to share with you why this show should have been better than it was, in my opinion. But for me, and what I wanted this to be, it missed the mark. And so here are why this show just wasn't as good as it could have been.
Well, that's just perfect, sir. I can help you with that. May I have your name?
First and foremost, the show has an identity issue. It's trying to be something that I don't want it to be. And I think that's what I was struggling with when I was going, I want to like it, but I don't like it. From the top down, it feels like a bad Saturday Night Live spoof.
I suggested it as a joke, and then it actually happened.
As I started digging into it, well, it's created by Dennis McNicholas, which I think I'm saying that right. McNichols? Whatever. He's a longtime writer on SNL, and he's the creator of the show. And I guess he's a Batman fan and wanted to do something like this, but that's what it feels like. That's not for me. That doesn't interest me. Remember in the 90s when they were producing a lot of movies, they were taking skits and turning them into movies? Most of them not too great.
What's up? How you doing? What's up?
This is what it feels like. It feels like they didn't do that, but they turned a Saturday Night Live skit into a 10-part episodic radio drama.
Let's just say I stick to the cowboy movies now. I don't take in a lot of comedies.
One of the things that I love about Batman is that he can be so many different things. You can see a comedic Batman or a silly, campy Batman, like in the 60s. I love that show because I know what it is. Or it can be serious and very dramatic and very real world rooted and heavy, like the Christopher Nolan movies or the new Matt Reeves movie. And then it can still be very heroic and childlike and adventure and exciting and superhero, like the animated series and the Justice League and all of those. And then everything in between. When you read the comic books, it's got a little bit of everything. And I like that because not many characters or stories can be all those things. Take Star Wars. It's like Star Wars is Star Wars, right?
I have a bad feeling about this.
In the case of this show, I wish that they would have just went, hey, we're doing a Saturday Night Live style spoof of Batman and go all in. It's like they kind of danced on that line. It's like they wanted it to be serious, but then they cast most of the cast as Saturday Night Live cast members. And I feel like some of them were playing it like this kind of Saturday Night Live style acting, and some of them were trying to play it more serious. But then they have really phenomenal casting with Jeffrey Wright as Batman and John Leguizamo as the Riddler, Brett Spiner as the Joker. Really great casting, and I would love to see those actors playing those characters in any iteration, live action, animation, whatever. I would love to see that because they all did really, really great, and I love their interpretation. It was unique. But then they surround them with less than adequate actors from Saturday Night Live. I don't know how else to say it.
Really? That's not like me, Alf.
The second reason that this really doesn't connect for me is my love of radio dramas. I've listened to a lot of the old 1940s radio dramas. I've listened to new iterations. I can't even say I'm a purist because I certainly didn't grow up in the 1940s sitting around the radio set watching and listening to the radio dramas. But I was introduced later, around the 90s. I love a lot of the new versions of radio dramas. So with that, there's a very different style of writing with the radio dramas. It's much more dialogue driven, really kind of build these stories around the sound effects to be able to provide the atmosphere and the music and the voice acting. Not only has to be really good quality to convey all the emotions that you can't do with just your face, but also just how the dialogue's written and the delivery of the dialogue and the fast-pacedness of that. My favorite kind of radio drama is the one that doesn't need a narrator. Maybe the narrator comes in here and there, or maybe the old detective voiceover kind of thing. They're heavily relying on the narrator in this that's describing what is happening.
Underneath, all seems undisturbed, except resting atop the massive bat beacon is...
What is it?
You don't have to say he walks in the door. You just have the sound of a door opening up. So that, again, it felt like, oh, we have writers that aren't used to or not completely involved in the radio world to know how to deliver this story for radio. The other thing on this point is they have this changing the dial on the radio. So it's like you're listening to the radio.
Gotham City Mayor, Hamilton...
And they change the dial and there's commercials. Oh, we're going over this show. Here's a news report. I don't need all that. Again, to me, it didn't hit the mark. I would have rather just deliver a really great story written for radio, written to do things on radio that you couldn't do elsewhere, and let me just sit back and enjoy that. I didn't even have a problem with seeing the visual elements. I watched this on HBO Max. So you see the radio, and I like the little subtle changes of the background. I think that all that's great for building an atmosphere in there, but I think that was enough. I would have liked it if it was just either one serial story that's broken up into 10 parts like they used to do, come back for the continuing adventures of Batman, right?
The 103rd meeting of the Batman Mystery Club. The 104th meeting will take place tomorrow night at the same time, over the same station.
Or if they did it like a Mystery of the Week sort of thing, where each episode was a new story, a new mystery, which is also something they did. The other thing that I felt like it just missed the mark on was, and I kind of touched on this a little bit already, is it's like they were trying to appeal to too many audiences. They have these comedy skits involved in there, but then some of the stories are a little more serious, a little more you lean into them. And so they have elements of the radio drama and elements of mystery and elements, it's like they were trying to appeal to too many people. And I think sometimes when you do that, especially in the streaming world, you lose everybody. I would have rather them just picked an audience to attract and go, hey, we're doing a Saturday Night Live spoof with Batman. And then I would have went, okay, that's not for me. I'm checking out. Or go, hey, we're going to do this serious radio drama and we're really going to use all those elements from the 1940s. And I know that would, turn away an audience that goes, oh, I don't want to listen to that old stuff. Or we're doing a campy, whatever. Just pick an audience. And I think that's what's crazy in this day and age with streaming is you don't have to shoot down the middle and try to get a little bit of all demographics. You can really go, hey, this show is for this group of people and it's going to exist on this platform, and the people that want to see that can go see that. it just sort of disappoints me because as somebody that this should have been the perfect show for, I just kind of left feeling disappointed. And it's so funny that, I kept going back to this. I wanted it to be better. I wanted it to be something else. And it just wasn't. And again, I know that a lot of you are probably disagreeing. Oh, it was fun. I had to listen to it or whatever. I maybe put a little bit more weight on it than I should have because there were some good elements. Like I said, I liked some of the stories, some of the little, particularly the Riddler stories because of the performance and the story that was there. I liked those. Some of the commercials were fun on a comedy stance, The other clown guy that kept trying to convince people that he wasn't the Joker. That was funny. I feel like that could have been just a Saturday Night Live skit. Boom, do that. I did hear that they are also working on a Batman the Animated Series radio drama. And Kevin Conroy and John Glover, who played the Riddler, are supposed to be back. I don't know much more about that than that. Kind of piques my interest because that feels like that, again, could work. If done right and with the right context and the right writing, that it could be a great way to continue the animated series in a fashion. More to come on that. Well, hopefully we'll see more from that. One, as a fan of radio drama, I would love to see it make a resurgence. I would love to see it kind of become a more popular entertainment medium. I think there's an audience for it. I think there's an audience for quality storytelling. And if you can deliver that, whatever the medium is, I think it should hit. So let me know what you thought of the radio show, or audio adventures, I guess it's called. I don't even call it radio drama, but that's what I keep referring to it as. But let me know what you think. If you are interested in radio drama, I want to hear some theater people make an attempt at recreating those old audio dramas. Check out the link in the description to hear me and my group do some of the radio shows. So that's it for today. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon.